Hi guys, Simon here from the Bad Players podcast, and welcome back for another video. It's just me today. Lewis is upstairs revising, but I do have a cat, so that's good. So we're going to do a deck profile of the Arceus deck that I took to a cup yesterday. I'm going to talk through the deck and each round and how it went. So we're going to go straight into it. So I'll start with a deck profile. So this is like Arceus Control. So it's kind of a bog standard, what I call like a weird theme deck colour list. So you got 4 Arceus V and your Arceus V Star. If you don't know what Arceus V Star does, it's got the Star Birth ability. During your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand and then shuffle your deck. So you pick any 2 cards, you can only do it once, and you got Trinity Nova for triple colourless, does 200 damage, and search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to a V Pokemon in any way you like, and then shuffle. It's a broken card. One of the best cards ever made, to be fair. Tough. And we got the 2/2 Bidoof. I did have 3/3, but I cut it for a few bits of fun, which I can go through in a minute. So we got the Bidoof and the Bibarel. Bidoof has got the ability which stops it from getting like bench sniped. So no ninja on the Bidoof. A little bit down. Bibarel. Industrious in sizes. Once you draw your turn, you may draw until you have 5 cards in hand. These do stack, so if you have more than 1, you can stack them. Spiritomb. So I put the Spiritomb in. This is the first card I cut the 3rd Bidoof for. So Spiritomb's got the Fettered in Misfortune. Basic V in play have no abilities, and then it's got Fade Out. You do 10 and then you pick it back up. So I'll get into why I put that in a moment. Fluttermane, the same thing. I cut the other Bibarel line for this. Midnight Fluttering, as long as this Pokemon is the active spot. Your Pokemon's active Pokemon has no abilities except for Midnight Fluttering, so really good. Rain and Charizard, no explanation needed. Combustion Blast, late game attacker, massive, really good in this deck. And then the Squavette, got a Nest Stash, shuffle your hand to the bottom of your deck, draw a card, and then you can just Bibarel over and over again. So to quickly go through the Pokemon, I went through the Arceus and Bibarel, so back to the Spiritomb. So the Spiritomb's in there to stop stuff like Control, so it stops Rotom. And weirdly, as I'll go into it, yesterday it was really good at stopping Lumineon, because there's a lot of Lugia, so it was really good for that. But mainly in there for the Rotom decks, so Snorlax and Pidgey Control, and even Charizard, it's really good for stopping stuff like that. The Fluttermane, with the active, is in there for the Lost Box decks. So, and Giratina, Lost Giratina, Lost Zone, anything in the active has no ability. So they have to get rid of this before they can comfy. So they have to waste a boss or a prime catcher, because there's no escape rope in format. It's kind of really hard for the Lost Box to get steam, and then you just sit behind this whilst you power stuff up. So you kind of go ahead. Like I said, the Charizard is the late game attacker. Back to Fluttermane, sorry. It's really good against Chien-Pao as well, which I found out yesterday. I started this I played Chien-Pao twice, and I started this both times, and they can't Shiver and Chill, so that's weirdly quite good into that. So then they have to try and work around that to also get through the Shivery Chill. So that's pretty good. Right, so support line is pretty standard, but there's a few little bits in here, right? So we've got the 3 Iono and the 2 Judge. So those are your disruptions. So your Iono Judge, keep your opponent's hand small, so you can just keep Arceus looping. So they speak for themselves, obviously. 2 Boss for the Gust effect, 2 Eri. Most people know what Eri does now, but this is your opponent reveals their hand and you discard up to 2 item cards you find there. This card in certain situations is probably the best card in the deck. In certain situations, and that sounds really silly. Arven is in there just as like a tech supporter. I'm in an R about the Arven. Actually saved me in multiple games yesterday, so Just even something as silly as Arven, it can be your 5th Ultra Ball or your 5th Nest Ball. So you just go Arven, Ultra Ball, and it gets the tool out, the tool, which we'll get to, the MVP tool. And you've got Sharon's Care, which is you may pick up and heal one of your colourless Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So, Sharon, broken. They hit your Arceus, they don't kill it. You pick it up, you promote another Arceus, you power it up, rinse and repeat. So 4 Nest Ball and 4 Ultra Ball, that's your Ball Search, Heavy Search. And we've also got a Poffin, because I added the Poffin last minute. I cut the 3rd grabber for a Poffin. Poffin's just insane. Again, if you go 2nd and you grab you start Arceus, and then you have an Arven, you just Arven for Poffin, a bit like Charizard and those decks do, and you just get out, double Bibarel, Squavette. Or what I did pretty much most of my games yesterday was Bibarel Spiritomb. Insane. So the Poffin was actually close to the MVP card. We got the 2 grabber. A lot of people hated this card yesterday. They were shocked. They were like, why are you playing grabber? Oh my god, I forgot this card existed. So grabber's really good. Your opponent reveals their hand and you put it to the bottom. They put any Pokemon they find there to the bottom of the deck. So yeah, this is a really good disruption card. It's also good to get hand information. So if you play grabber and you see their hand is kind of busted, that's when the Eri comes in, which did happen in a game, which I'll speak about in a minute. Like, really gross. Catcher, just the 3rd boss, but it's kind of the situation where you can Iono and Catcher, which is insane because people don't see that coming in an Arceus deck. Lost Vacuum, get rid of tools, Power Pad, recycle, 1 Super Rod. Super Rod isn't necessarily for the energy, it's to get rid of Charizard back so you can Charizard twice. I was on an hour about Thornton, but I think the Super Rod is faster. You just go Rod, Nest Ball, Zard, Magma, 1 switch, just for switch options, 1 Choice Bout. Choice Bout's the iffiest card in the deck. Like, I spoke to one of my friends about it, and we think maybe Defiance Band could be better in certain situations because Radiant Charizard can't one-shot Pidgey with Choice Bout. So I might change that for a Defiance Band. But it's difficult because the logic of this deck is that you try and hold the game off so they never knock anything out. So it's kind of it's a different situation. So, but Defiance Band, whatever it's called, I might try it out. Hero's Cape. This is the MVP of the entire deck. The whole deck revolves around this card. Get extra 100 HP, so you get 380 HP on an Arceus, and it just throws people off. Like, people just are like, huh? Like, they can't deal with it. Like, it makes people misplay, it makes people overuse resources. If you manage to get the 1-shot on the Arceus, fine, but you have to do a lot. And then if I get the retaliation, 1-shot, or even any kind of disruption attack, you're in trouble. So again, this probably won me most of my games. TM Devo, it does what it says on the tin. Really good tech card against certain matchups. Oh yeah, it was great yesterday. Magma Basin to power up Charizard. That's literally the only reason it's in there. And it's obviously a bump stadium. But it can allow you to, if they one-shot an Arceus, you can bench Charizard, attach a DTE, Magma Basin, switch into Charizard and start knocking out straight away. So it goes down to 230, but against Chien Power, it's really good because you can basically KO them with a 1 prize there. And then you're kind of skewing the prize trade a little bit. Town Store to search tool cards out. Really good. 6 Fire Energy, bog standard. 4 DTE, obviously. Jet Energy is a pseudo switch. It's a switch that can't be erried. So if you're playing against like Snorlax or Control, they can't erry the switch card. So really good. Mist Energy was basically just in case there was any Roaring Moon, because Roaring Moon can just go through everything, and it also stops Star Requiem. So again, Tina has a hard time against you. So the V Guard was in there for Lugia, which massively helped me through the day because I'm a Lugia magnet. And yeah, so that's the deck. It's pretty standard. So if I go through my tournament run, so I went to a cup yesterday in Birmingham. I can't remember what the shop's called. Battlefield, I think. So our friend Graham was the tournament organiser. There was 20 players. So it wasn't huge, but the shop's quite little, so they maxed out at 20. So round one I paired my friend Asib, who goes to the same league as me. He plays Charizard. He's very, very good Charizard player. So I was a little bit stressed and I was a bit annoyed that I paired my friend round one, because that's quite annoying, because you know you're not going to be like IDing with him later or any of that shenanigans, so you're like gonna mess each other up, if you know what I mean. So played game one. We both set up quite well. Both set up really quickly, to be fair, and we're just trading but not actually killing anything, because my maximum output is 200, and so if I'm not knocking anything out, Charizard's only doing 180, and we're in that kind of 180, 200, don't do anything, boss, do this kind of thing. And then I'm thinking I'm getting quite ahead and I'm all cheeky, and the Pidgey gets used and the Turo comes out. He pulls the Turo out of his ass. He Toros up his Charizard. He evolves into another Charizard and kills my Arceus, which is really annoying. And then, we go back to the back and forth of attack, this, that, the other, And I missed Sharon's Care, which I think lost me the game. I dug for it. I used the Squavet, as I discussed, shuffles to the bottom of the deck, you draw 5 with Bibarel. I did that like twice, missed the Sharon's Care. So Seeb won game 1, but it was a long game 1. I think it was like 10 minutes left. Yes, sir, he did win game 1. It was annoying. It wasn't annoying, it was one of those things. It was, I just got battered. Game 2, I managed to set up, I went second. Did I go second? Or first? I think I went first. Yeah, I went first. Because I think he likes to go second. Either way, so what happened here was he set up ish, not really. And then I went second and didn't do a lot. But I managed to get Spiritomb out, which helps. And then that was it. Yeah, I had something in the active, probably Squavet in the active, and then Arceus on the bench, and he couldn't do anything. So it was his turn. He did what he could, but he didn't do anything. He had I think it was a Charmander and a Pidgey out. And then turn 2 was like the filthiest turn of all time. I drew for turn. And I managed to evolve into Arceus for Starbirth. But my Arceus V Star hasn't got any energy on it. So I'm like, how do I do this? So my hand was pretty good. So I play Starbirth. And I Starbirth for, I can't remember the combination because one of the cards was in my hand. But I needed a switch, an Arceus V, and a double turbo energy. And I think it was the Arceus and the double turbo because I had the switch in hand. So I Starbirth, I bench the Arceus V, I attach a double turbo, I switch into the active. So I've got my basic, ready to power up my V-Star, which is like the backwards way of doing it, but he's not got a lot going on, and Charizard deck only does 180 most of the time, so he can't knock me out next turn. So, and then I look at my hand and I was like, so how do I play this? He didn't do anything last turn, but that doesn't mean anything. So I played Grabber and looked at his hand, and I think there was a Charizard in his hand. I think. So I grabbed the Charizard to the bottom of the deck and then saw the rest of his hand. And his hand was Double Rare Candy, Ultra Ball, something else. So we had Rare Candy Charizard, basically. So I was like, oh my god. So I played the grabber, put that back. So he still had Rare Candy Ultra Ball Charizard, and he's sitting there. You know, you can see that look on his face, and he's like, oh, you know, you didn't Starburst for Airy, so that's pretty sick. So I actually had Airy in hand, which was gross. So this is what I mean about the situation where I can look at the hand, see if I want to play the Airy. Because I also had Iono, so I was like, which way do I want to play this? You know, do I give him more cards to set up, or do I just Airy blind? But I was like, actually, no, play the grabber, check the hand. If it's crap, I don't have to play anything. So I played the Airy, I got rid of both Rare Candies. Because, yes, he can Ultra Ball, but for what? His hand was dead. And then I just Trinity charged onto my V-Star. He drew for turn, he passed. I hard retreat into Arceus, attack. He drew for turn, he passed. I attacked. There's like 5 minutes left. He managed to bench something else. I attacked. He managed to bench the Chi-Yu, you know. I attacked. I won the game. So I managed to like scrape out like in the last minute like a tie. So tie's not amazing. It's better than a loss, but I do feel kind of bad for stealing his win away from him. But we always seem to tie. It's weird. So it was round one. So I was on no wins, no losses, one tie. So I'm going to round two, and round two was insane. Like I paired Terry, like again another friend from our league who runs our league, good old Tarmac Terry, and he's playing Chin Pao. So Chin Pao's a bad match for me because they can just blow me up, right? So, but this is funny. Like Terry's predominantly a judge, so he doesn't play very often. So I was like, I kind of have a chance. So this is where the Flutter Mane clutch comes in. So I actually start Flutter Mane. I go first. I start Flutter Mane. I manage to get an Arceus out with an energy on. That's all you need. He goes second. He starts the Shivery Chill, dude. Chin Pao. Can't Shivery Chill. Actually plays Irida to get Cancelling Cologne, which was hilarious. We were both laughing. It was great. Plays Irida to get Cancelling Cologne. And manages to Shivery Chill in the semi-setup. He gets quite a good setup, to be fair, weirdly. Going to my turn, I switch into Arceus. I managed to hit the Chin Pao, only for like 180, powering up another Arceus. So I'm like, okay, this is where it gets hard because you're not one-shotting any like little EXs. You just 180 into something that's got 230, that has potential to like blow you up is really scary. So he does his Chin Pao thing, but doesn't quite get a KO on my Arceus. He hits him for 240. So I'm like, whew, whew. So next turn, I managed to... I missed the Sharon, which was annoying, but I switched into another Arceus, knocked out his Chin Pao. He gets a second Chin Pao out, like, instantaneously. Goes click, 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 click. But only gets the energy out to hit me for 240 again, so he misses the KO again. So I've got two Arceuses with 240 damage on, and I'm thinking, Greninja just kills me. I'm going to lose, this is stressful. So I get Charizard into play for my like backup plan. And then I hit him, you know, so next turn, he's got no energy in play. And I'm sitting there going, he's got Ninja on the bench. He just needs a Superior and a Prime Catcher. La 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 la. And I'm dead in the water. So I'm sitting there like, please, please, please. He gets the Superior. He loads up all his Pokemon. Like he's got so much energy in play at this point. I'm stressed out. There's 3 Superior in the bin now, so he's only got 1 left. He loads up all his Pokemon. And then he literally slams down the Prime Catcher, and I'm like, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, excuse my language, but I'm like, fuck, I'm going to get wrecked here. Like, and he Prime Catches up the other Arceus, which it doesn't really matter, but he could have Prime Catched up like a Bibarel to get me stuck, but I see where he's coming from. So he does that. And then I'm like waiting for the Ninja, but he promotes Iron Bundle. And I was like, okay, what's going on? So the Iron Bundle's in the active. So he puts all his energy in play with Sheer Cold or whatever it's called. Shivery Cold, as he called it. And goes to retreat the Iron Bundle into Ninja. And, realises that he can't afford the retreat cost and there's no energy to do it. So he's kind of just stuck in the active. So the judge is watching as well. And I look at the judge and he looks at me and we're both like, whew, dodged a bullet there, Simon. Yeah. So a teeny little mistake. So he just passed the turn. So I'm like, whew. So I very quickly actively seek out the town store, put it in play, put the tool on my Arceus so I can't get ninjaed anymore. So that helps. I knock out their bundle because that's all I can do. He then brings up the ninja, manages to get the ninja play, but it's only for the Arceus that's already half dead. And then the active one, which still lives on 50 HP. 50 or 40, or it was something like that. Because of the hero's cape, the MVP hero cape. And then we go into the final couple of turns of that game, and I'm on 1 or 2 prizes, and he's on the same. And I managed to stall him out. I got the boss on the Bibarel, the Iono to 1 or something. He manages to draw with the Bibarel, but in drawing to the Bibarel, he kind of leaves himself with 2 cards in deck. Doesn't get what he needs to retreat. So then I kill the Bibarel. And then he technically decked out the next turn trying to get what he got, but he was just a couple of cards short because he prized loads of energy. So that was kind of so I took game 1, which was good, but it was stressful. Weirdly, cheer pals gross. Fair play to Terry because he does not play very often, and he nearly got me. So it's whew, whew. And so we're into game 2. Game 2 kind of played out very similar. But I got a little bit further ahead. I managed to boss a couple of Bibarels, knock them out, do this, do that. And yeah, so I won. Time finished on game 2. So this deck is quite slow, so it works like a control deck. So you kind of aim to win game 1. And then just stop your opponent winning is the, you say slow play, but it's not slow play. It's attack, heal, stall play. There you go. I like control decks, so this is I'm going to win 1 game, and then you lose. So I'm cool. So 1 win, 1 tie. That's pretty sick. Go into round 3, and I pair Darren, who's a local at the shop. Now, I've known Darren for quite a while, on and off. I've seen him at a few events. I know he plays Lugia, so I was oh, he's going to play Lugia. I hate Lugia. EUIC playing against Lugia just ruined my life, especially when you're a control player, right? But his control is different. To play against Darren, and yes, he's playing Lugia. He gets a semi-okay setup. I set up really well. And I'm managing to, boss the Archeops, knock him out, boss the Mincinos, knock him out. So he can't one-shot me. And I win game 1, which is good. So we go to game 2, and the only time it happened to me the whole day, I started Bidoof, and I was oh, I'm so dead. So I go second, I start Bibarel, I get nothing. Yeah, Bibarel, mate, it sucks, right? It's that kind of bruh. So start Bibarel, get nothing. He went first, but he didn't manage to donk me, so that was good. But I'm so far behind now. So I managed to get an Arceus and play the next turn, Trinity Charge, do all that stuff. But he's just got the ability to one-shot my Arceus now. So he one-shots my Arceus. And long story short, I kind of get pseudo-donked. I can't do anything else, and he just runs me off the board. So we're going to game 3. We're a couple of minutes into game 3, and time on the round's called, so tied Lugia. Oh, I hate Lugia. Bro. So tied Lugia. Come here. Do you want some biscuits in a minute? I'll do some biscuits in a minute. Put Polly there. So, tied Lugia. Whatever. So, I'm 1 win, 2 ties. So then I go into the next round, and it's a Lugia again. It's a lad called Sam. I've played him before. I think he's a local to Graham's League. And yeah, Lugia again. So we played around like game 1. Game 1 went really long. He kind of knew how to get through me. I know how to get through him. But I managed to late game. I managed to Iono low. I think it's Iono to 2 because he only had 2 prizes left. And I had to take 3, I think. So Iono to like 2. After the Iono, I get a Counter Catcher, which is just insane. Counter Catcher up is only Mincino, knock it out. So he's got an Lugia in play, but it's not killing anything. And if it does, if he's got a boss or something like that, he's knocking out a Bibberel, which is only 1 prize. So it doesn't really aid him. So he's kind of talking through it with me, and he's like, oh, I could have done this and this, and he had the Serena basically. He had the Serena for the Arceus, and could kill it. But after the Iono didn't have it, and he didn't have the Mincino to body me, so I took game 1, which was great. But it was a long game 1. We got into game 2. He goes first, I go second. I managed to set up quite well, which was good. Got an Arceus. I keep saying Arceus. An Arceus V in the active. And bench 1, benched a dude. I got loads of single prizes on the bench. Because I'm aware of like time isn't much longer. So I got loads of single prizes. So I'm thinking, if we go into turns, I can't let him take 6. So I Trinity Charge to a dude. He's got a double turbo on his active Arceus, which I've got a turbo on my active Arceus, so I can Trinity Charge, but his Lugia's also got one on, and he didn't want to do it, but he did it for, safety reasons. So he goes, do this, and he manages to get the summoning star and power up the Lugia, but the Lugia only does 200 because of the DTE, and he doesn't have a way to retreat it into a different one, because he literally had 2 Arceus, little Mincino or Cincino, whichever the basic is. So he couldn't attack with that. So he had to attack with the Lugia in the active, which was -20. So he hit me for 200, where I'm like, going into turns, in a couple minutes. So I evolve this one anyway, and I smack into his Lugia. He draws for turn. Time on a round is called. So we're doing the maths. And he's like, I don't think I can win because I'm turn 1 and you're turn 2. And I'm like, yeah, you have 2 turns to take 6. You can knock out this Arceus and potentially knock out the other Arceus, but that's it. So, he wanted to play it out, so we played it out, but I won. So that was cool. So I'm now 2 wins, 2 ties. So undefeated, which is good. So I'll take that. It's not biscuit time. You gotta wait 5 minutes. 10 minutes at most. So I'll go into round 5. It's my winning in now, because there's only a top 4. And I have to win. And I pair against Pidgeot Control. The Arceus just gets wrecked by Pidgeot Control, right? You just lose. Come here. Cat's annoying me, so... As you can hear him, because he's a pain in the bottom. So, yeah. I'm like, okay, how do I do this, right? And in my head, I know how to beat it, because I always play Snorlax. I always play Pidgey. I know how they win. So, it kind of works like that. You know what I mean? Can you just give me 1 second? This cat is ruining everything. Yeah, you're going to get your own way. So, nearly there, guys. No. Stay out. Near the biscuits. And the biscuits. Right, so back to it. Sorry. So yeah, Pidgeot control versus Arceus is like bad. Like a bad matchup because they just stall out your Arceus. They've got Mimikyu. They've got all the tools to destroy you. Unless you play this list. So we're both set up. I go first. I choose to go first, even though I know what he's playing. Because I'm like, do I go first? I'm like, yeah, because I have to set up an Arceus really quickly for my plan. So I set up the Arceus. So turn 1, I get a Buddy Puffin. So I Puffin for Spiritomb. Really good in this matchup. And Squavette. Really good in this matchup. So I get Spiritomb, Squavette. And then a Nest Ball for Fluttermane. So my board is Arceus in the active, Spiritomb, Fluttermane, Squavette. So I've got Squavette for infinite recycle. I've got Spiritomb so he can't use basic Vs. And that shuts off Rotom and his Luminion. And he's huffing. He's like, oh, you know, poor kid. Like, poor kid. And then Fluttermane is how I get through Mimikyu. Because it does 90 damage. With DTE it does 70 damage, which is perfect math. Could attack Charizard later if needed. Right, so we go through game 1. Completely lock him out of the game. You know, Spiritomb does its thing. I got Arceus in the active. I go first, I attach a basic energy and I pass. After I've done my, you know, Spiritomb stuff. I go Puffin for this, Nest Ball, attach, pass, your turn. So he goes, picks up the Spiritomb and he's like, oh, okay, that stops Luminion. I'm like, yeah, and you Rotom. He's like, cool. And he looks at the Fluttermane and he shakes his head. Cheeky. So then he does what? He gets 2 Pidgey down and a Cleffa. And I think that's it. So he does the grasping Cleffa thing up to 7. So I'm like, sound. So I draw for turn. I attach to Arceus. Play Judge. Which isn't nice for control. I play Judge. I draw 4. I don't do anything with them. He just gives me a look. I Trinity Charge to myself. So my Arceus has now got 3 energy on it. 3 basic energy. No special energy. Nothing to get Geoco mode or Synode or... and then I just pass after the Trinity. He draws for turn. He plays Eri. I think he played Eri was his first thing. And he got rid of... I might have had a Nest Ball or something in my hand. He got rid of the Nest Ball. I was like, sweet, let's do this. He Cleffers up to 7 again. So I draw for turn. I managed to... I can't remember if it was that turn or the turn after, but... Oh yeah, it was a turn after, so I just take the knockout with the... What's the attack called? Power Edge. So I take knockout the Cleffa with Power Edge. And he draws for turn. And, you know, doesn't do anything. He's got a 7-card hand, but he didn't do anything. He's like, he plays Arven. Oh, that was it. He played Arven and got Rare Candy. And a Seal Stone. And then just passed. So I'm like, okay. So next turn, Pidgey's coming out. But there's Pidgey in the active, Pidgey on the bench. That's it. So I draw for turn. This is where I get Arceus V-Star. I managed to get Arceus V-Star. And then Starbirth for Judge. Play Judge. Knock out the Pidgey. He promotes Pidgey, draws for turn, concedes. So I basically judged him out the game, which was good. So go to game 2. He makes me go first, he goes second. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, this is good because these games are really slow. Control's really slow. If you win the first game, you're probably okay. But he sets up like a boss, right? Like proper, like he gets Pidgey, double Pidgey. He's got double Pidgey, Jigglypuff, because he's playing Jigglypuff with it. Pidgey, Jigglypuff, Cleffa in the active, some crazy like shenanigans. Oh, and the Rotom, because my Spiritomb was prized. because I didn't get Spiritomb out turn 1, so he's like, use instant charge, got 50 million card hand. I draw for turn, I attach to my Arceus. I do the same thing. I get a Nest Ball for Flutter Mane, and that's it. He manages to, and then I just Trinity Charge to myself. He then goes Rare Candy Pidgey, which I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And he sets up his board. Rare Candy Pidgey searches for something. I think he started playing Sisters or Eri or something. Oh yeah, he played Eri and my hand was crap, so I didn't get anything. It was crap, but I had a supporter, so it was good. And he looks at it, he's like, okay, I won't take anything. I was like, yeah, well, you can't. And he instant charges again. I managed to set up Arceus V-Star and knock out the Cleffer. Take a prize. He promotes Pidgey. Free retreat, obviously. Attaches to his Jigglypuff. Retreats into the mini Pidgey. Because he's got the Pidgeot EX, but retreats into mini Pidgey, instant charges. So, okay, I know where this is going, right? So, I draw for turn and knock it out. Now, I've still got Starbirth, but I could knock out the Jigglypuff, but I had a different plan. Because if I just knock out the Jigglypuff, he still can do stuff, right? So bear with me. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep my Starbirth. So he goes... So I knock out the Pidgey, take my prize. So I'm down 4 prizes. He draws for turn, evolves into Jigglypuff, attaches to DTE. So he's got Fire Energy on it in a DTE. That's quite important. He brings up the Jigglypuff, plays Yaochia, and then tries to penny in the same turn. And I'm like, you can't do that, mate, sorry. And I think he forgot. The turn went quite long, so he played Yaochia like straight away. And then off the Yaochia, he got Nest Ball for, another Pidgey, just in case the other Pidgey, just to keep his board flowing. Then went to play the penny on the Rotom, but couldn't, obviously. And then he hit me for like 160 or 180 or whatever Jigglypuff does. And he's got the Hero Cape on it, and it's the fattest Pokemon in the world, right? So he does that, and I was like, bruh, I'm just like, this is going to work. So I draw for turn, play Nest Ball, get second Arceus out, and just hit him for 180. Hit him for 180 and power up the bench Arceus. So he draws for turn, plays Aerial Sisters or something, doesn't do anything. My hand's dead anyway, so dead. And he knocks me out. It takes 2 prizes, so we're both on 4 prizes. So I promote the second Arceus, which has got the basic energy, so I can do 200, but it's not enough to knock out Jigglypuff. So I draw for turn, and he's like, how much is on thingy? How much energy is on? How much health does Jigglypuff have? And he's like, oh, it's got like 450, and you've done 180, so it's got like 250 HP or something left. And I was like, okay, cool. So I evolve this Arceus. I play Iono. So I Iono him and myself down to 4, which is semi-important. No, so I Iono down to 4. Then I Starbirth. So I play Starbirth. I get TM Devolution, which he just gave me this look of horror, right? So I got TM Devolution and someone else, I can't remember what it was, probably another supporter for next turn. I attach the TM Devo to my Arceus, and I play TM Devo. So that devolves his Jigglypuff, killing it. So no longer got 450 HP, it's got like 50 or something. So kill that. But more importantly, I've got him down to 4 cards, and his Pidgey is now devolved. So devolve the Pidgey, which was, I get the prize, so I get the attacker, but I also take out his engine. So I'll take a prize, most clutch prize, because it was a Spiritomb, so that was insane. So he promotes Rotom. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So I can't one-shot a Rotom. So, because he's got a tool on it. I could do 200, but he's got a tool on it. So, he instant charges. I bench the Spiritomb straight away. He's not very happy. I play Judge. I smack the Rotom for 200. It's got a tool on it, so it's got like 220 or something. 240? Yeah, 240. So it's got like 40 HP left. And he pennies. Next turn, he draws for turn. Benches Mimikyu, where I was like, here we go. And pennies the Rotom. And passes. So he's just got Mimikyu in play now. Nothing else. So I got my Flutter Mane in play. So I attach to Flutter Mane and I pass. So he draws for turn, does some, not a lot, passes. I attach the double turbo to the Flutter Mane and retreat, attack, 50, 70 on the Mimikyu. Mimikyu's got a tool on it, 70 on the Mimikyu. So now he's obviously got to bench stuff. So I think at some point Mawile came into play and the Rotom comes back down. So he's in like that kind of stop me killing him mode. So the next turn, I think it was the next turn, I managed to vacuum the Mawile because I was scared of Mawile because he could just get me stuck. Because I was out of switch cards and stuff. And he just decks me out, so I lose. So I vacuumed the Mawile and bossed it up and knocked it out. And with Arceus, this was, sorry, because I used the switch to get out of it. And then he brings up the Mimikyu, you know, I managed to, you know, retreat back into the Mimikyu, kill the Mimikyu, put 20 damage on a Rotom. He then benches a Pidgey, puts a Defiance Vest on it, where Arin does the Defiance Vest to stop the 20 damage from the Flutter Mane, it doesn't. And then I managed to just go Flutter Mane attack, Flutter Mane attack, Flutter Mane, and take all my prizes. So yeah, he scooped, I won top 4, which is great. Undefeated, 3 wins, 2 ties, happy days. I know I'm waffling, I apologise, but I was quite happy. Because I'm having an alright couple of weeks. I won a cup last week, but that was a bit smaller. But this one was a bit bigger, so I wanted to like prove that I could actually do it with a different deck as well. So I'm going to top 4, and I pair against a good guy called Lucian, good friend, known him for a couple of years. He's a great lad, really talented lad. So he's playing Shooting Power, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna kill me, right? So we both set up, we're having a laugh, it was such a fun game, like it was amazing. Like we were just chatting all the way through it, real bantery, kind of fun. Right. But I managed to set up my Arceus with a Hero Cape on it, and I think the Hero Cape just threw him completely off. So he tried to one-shot it. In game 1 he managed to one-shot, he did like 420 damage to my Arceus. But it took like 2 or 3 Superior and all this stuff to do it. So he's like, we're playing through the game, knocking him out, knocking out his Bibarel, you know, as you do, boss the Bibarel, kill it, next turn you Iono, they can't do anything, etc. And I managed to take game 1 because he ran out of resources, so I was sick. So I was like, whew, can I actually do this? So we go into game 2. Game 2 kind of plays out similar, but I can't do anything, right? So I set up an Arceus. I managed to set up an Arceus. And so I've got Arceus in the active with double turbo and a Hero Cape on it. And an energy, obviously. I can attack. So attack is Chi and Pow. And I'm thinking, oh. So he goes for the one shot. And my bench, I'm not even kidding you, is Bidoof, not Bibarel, Bidoof, and Flutter Mane. Right, that's it. And Arceus in the active, so I can't even power up a second Arceus. And my hand's dead, and I'm stressed, and I'm like, this always happens to me, it's not funny, blah blah blah. So he does, like, you know, he's like, get rid of this, he's playing Pokestop. Pokestop was really bad for him. He Pokestopped away 2 Irido, which was terrible. You know, all these things, like, he just So I lived. So my only supporter in hand is Sharon's Care, but I don't have anything else to do. So I'm like, if I Sharon's Care, I live. But I can't do anything, and I can't attack. Whereas this turn, I could knock out his Chien Pao, take 2 prizes, set up, but then he just retaliate. He could ninja and take 3 prizes, you know, it's that kind of thing, so don't want to do that. So I played a Sharon's Care, and everyone's like, whoa, my god. He wasn't very happy. Yeah, I was, he wasn't. It was like, oh, for God's sake, you know, the typical, idiot plays Sharon Care. So I play Sharon's Care, I promote the Flutter Mane, I bench the Arceus, attach the DT, attach the Cape. So it's back to, it's only the basic, but it's got 320. Check his discard, there's 2 superior down, so he can do it again. But my logic is, if he wants to kill this Arceus on the bench, he's got to use his Prime Catcher, and he has to use the other 2 superior, really, because there was so much in the discard pile. So I was like, and then I could just win by doing nothing, was my logic, right? Because then he's out of resources and he's got to like manually find stuff. And there's like, you know, they play 9 energy, I think. 9 energy, 2 lightning, da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, okay, sound, do this, do that, do this. And he just knocks out the Flutter Mane, I think. So I promote the Arceus, I evolve the Arceus. I attack, I knock him out, I take 2 prizes, they're terrible, like terrible prizes. I can't do anything, right? He promotes, can't knock out my Arceus, and I draw for turn. This one was pretty cool. I managed to bossed up the Bidoof for a turn, and I didn't attack it, I just left it in the active. And this, that, the other. I think this is that one, I can't remember. And then I'm sitting there thinking, oh, you know, time's running out. 1 game up. Can I do what I've been doing all day? Is, you know, survive long enough to time it around? You know, da-da-da-da-da. And he takes prizes. He's down to like 2 prizes. And I'm down to 2 prizes. And we've got timing around is called. So he can still win. And I can still win. So we do it. He sets everything up, and he can Iron Hands my Bibarel for 2, or he can one-shot me, because my Arceus isn't the freshest looking dude. Da-da-da-da-da. So he goes for the Iron Ionode, and there was a situation where Iron Hands was in his hand, and I Ionode it to the bottom. And he's like, I can't remember where it was in my hand, because oh no, that was it. I played Grabber, put it to the bottom, then played Iono, and he couldn't remember how many cards were in his hand with the Iono, because that's where the Iron Hands would be in the deck, if that makes sense, because he needed to play Pokestop to get some resources, but he didn't want to Pokestop away the Iron Hands. So he did what he needed to do, and counted his deck in his head. I'm just killing my Snorlax as well. So did what he did, and he didn't get the Iron Hands because he miscounted. He could have Pokestopped and he would have drawn it the next turn, which would have been sick, and I would have lost probably. Maybe, right? So he just goes Prime Catcher. I think it was Prime Catcher, because one of the games the Prime Catcher was prized, and I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, it was, because this one he brought up my Bidoof. Oh no, he bundled up my Bidoof, sorry. Yeah, he used bundle, and I brought up Bidoof, which had a DTE on it, because I thought, if he KOs me, whatever. If he doesn't, I can retreat. He doesn't manage to get the KO, so I just hard retreat and win the game. So I stamped my ticket into the final. I think it went something like that. It was a weird game. Like, I got lucky, let's just say that. That game 2, got wow lucky. But the Hero Cape completely threw him off, so that was kind of insane. Go to the final, and it's Lugia. Great. Lugia again. This was like the best game of the entire day. Like, everyone was watching. I played a guy called Kin. Really good player, like insane. Like, knew exactly what he was doing. I couldn't make any mistakes. The game 1 went really long. both down to 2 prizes. I managed to do what I needed to do, kill this, take a prize where I needed to, keep the Mincinos off the board, and Iono, late game, he manages to get a boss. He bosses my damaged Arceus and kills me with Mew EX, which is kind of annoying. It's like, it already had an energy on it, so he only had to attach like a DTE and he still won. So he took game 1, which was quite a long game, but it was... We go into game 2. Again, the game is really stressful. It takes ages. Both games we both set up like fantastic. It was like really like, if it was on stream it would have been sick. So we're going through everything, and I feel like I'm gonna win. I'm sat there, I'm like, I'm gonna win because I got the play, got it all figured out in my head. You know when you like overthink something. So he's got 1 prize card left, 1, and I have 2. So like the Iono to 1 is broken, but I want a boss as well because I need to kill the threats. I had like tunnel vision, right? So I play the Iono down to 1. I draw my 1 card, and then Bibarel, draw. I get a counter catcher, which is like the most insane card of all time. It's what I was digging for. So I can boss and Iono in the same turn. And then my route to victory was counter catcher he only had 1 Arceus left. You counter catcher the Arceus, he's down to 1. You knock him out, he can't kill you next turn, right? Because he needs a boss, because he can't one-shot an Arceus, sorry. So he needs to boss my Bibarel or something to kill it. So that's your route, and then you just win the game. You hopefully bricks, because he's got 1 card in hand, and if he gets it, he gets it, right? No, stupid Simon makes the silly mistake, and his Mincino's got 3 energy on it. No, 2 energy on it, sorry. 2 energy on it, so I'm like, he can power it up and kill me. I just had like this weird tunnel vision in my head. And I was like, so I need to kill the thing that can kill me. Which makes sense. But he can't kill me, right? Because if the Arceus is dead, he can only attach 1 energy. And if he attaches a double turbo, which puts him to... I'm just killing everything here. If he attaches a double turbo, which gives him the 4 energy, it's minus 20. So it's only 260. So this is where my tunnel vision went. Because I was like, yeah, he's got to attach a double turbo and he does 280 and I just lose the game. So I have to kill the Mincino. Should have killed the Arceus, right? But my biggest mistake was I Iono'd him to 1, counter-catchered the Mincino, KO'd the Mincino, drew my 1 prize card, so I had 1 prize card left. It's got a gift energy on it, man. I was like, oh my god, I forgot about the gift energy. And I've just Iono'd all this crap to the bottom of the deck. And he gets to draw 6 cards, right? I was like, I've just thrown this game out the water. Right, I was feeling sick. As soon as I did it, I was like, oh no, I forgot about gift. So he draws 6, so he's got 7 card hand. He draws for turn. He just looks at me and I'm like, he doesn't have a boss. I was like, what the hell? Like, so he promotes Mew because he's got 3 retreat. He can't knock out my thingy because he hasn't got Mincino anymore. So that was my stupid logic, which is perfect. So now he just needs a boss, because with a boss he can knock out anything with Lugia. So I was like, oh. So he plays out his entire hand, and he's literally plays his hand to like no cards, right? Or he's got like, I think he's got 1 or 2 cards left in hand. He plays like, the turn went off for like 3 hours, so he's like, Catcher in Aroma, Great Ball, play this, play that. So the 7 card hand is shrinking to like 2 cards, and I'm like, he doesn't have the boss. It's down to like Mew EX. So he's like, please, please, please. So, and I'm like, please, please, please. Because I got game in hand, by the way. My hands, I got a boss's orders in hand, so I just win, right? So he draws off Mew EX and doesn't get it. He's like, ah. So I'm like, yes, we're going to game 3. He then retreats into Lugia, because obviously I can't one-shot a Lugia. Double checks his 3-card hand. And I've got, what have I got? 4 or 5 card hand. Got nothing. But I have Bibarel. I have 2 Bibarels. And he plays Iono, and I'm like, fuck. My boss goes to the bottom. So he does to me what I did to him. I don't got no gift energy, have I? And then he wallops my Arceus for 220 or whatever it is. And I'm like, damn, what do I do here? So I draw for turn. I just need boss for game, right? So I draw for turn, check my discard pile. 1 boss in the discard pile. I only played 2. Can't catch his guard. Doesn't work anyway. We've both got, single prizes. And I'm like, right, I need to find this boss. So I managed to play my cards down to like nothing. Play Bibarel. Draw 5. It's not there. I'm like, managed to play the hand down to like nothing. I got like a 15 card deck, if less than that. So I've already drawn 5. So I draw. I think I had Bibarel for like 4 or something. Second Bibarel was down to 4. I missed the bloody boss. I was like, no. So he's only got a really small hand, but he's took a prize. I'm probably going to lose. So I managed to... I retreated into bloody my other Arceus, because I was like, the damage wouldn't just get killed by anything. Because I can't one-shot this Lugia. I Iono him again, so we both go down to 1. I smack his Lugia and pray. He draws for turn, plays Mew, the energy, the draw 3 cards with Mew or whatever it is, and yeah, gets the boss. So I'm like, no! And he bosses and he gets to win the game. So I didn't win the cup, but I came second, so I was pretty happy with it. And the games were really close. If I wouldn't have screwed up the gift energy, I just completely forgot for some reason. It was going to be, technically was going to be game 3, and that could have gone either way. So because we were low on time, it was probably a prize race to see who could take prizes faster. So that would all depend on who set up fast. So I think the one mistake through the whole tournament for me, but other than that, the deck is fantastic. It's so good. Like, it gives me vibes of playing Control without playing Control. So yeah, like, there's the list if you want to try it. It's really fun. It's quite basic. Like, it's just a normal Control deck. So it's not this guy who I usually play. But I thought it would be a bad play this week because I won a cup with Snorlax last week. So I thought there could be maybe some people there who I do know who were teching against me. So yeah, I wasn't doing that. So that's not even going to happen. So yeah, so there you go. There's my cup run. So if you like what I've done, let me know. Comment. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm going to try and do a bit more content. I know I say that every time, but it's kind of just me at the moment because Lewis is revising. We will be back in a minute though, because we're going to be doing a fun video where he's going to take a lunch break and we're going to do a quick video. So until then, I will see you soon. Ciao guys, and bye from Snorlax.